There are places on Earth where simply drawing a line on a map can create an international crisis. Sometimes the boundary snakes along a mountain range, encircles a windswept island, or disappears amid shifting sands. These are the world's most disputed territories, flashpoints that have triggered wars and divided communities. Among the most contentious, Kashmir, Taiwan, Crimea, the Golan Heights, Western Sahara, and Cyprus, names echoing with history and geopolitics. Why do these conflicts remain unresolved for decades? Let's find out. High in the Himalayas lies Kashmir, a region of breathtaking beauty, where snow-capped peaks rise above lush valleys and crystal-clear rivers wind through ancient forests. Known as the roof of the world, Kashmir's natural splendor has inspired poets and travelers for centuries. Yet beneath this stunning landscape lies one of the world's most dangerous flashpoints, a place where the tranquility of nature stands in stark contrast to the ever-present tension and military vigilance. When the British left India in 1947, the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir became the object of a bitter and complex struggle between the newly formed nations of India and Pakistan. The region's ruler hesitated, torn between joining either country, and his decision would ignite a conflict that endures to this day. The First Indo-Pakistani War erupted almost immediately, as both sides sent troops into the mountains. This initial conflict set the stage for decades of hostility, repeated wars, and a legacy of mistrust that continues to shape the region's fate. Today, a heavily militarized line of control slices through Kashmir, dividing it between Indian and Pakistani administration. Watchtowers, barbed wire, and armed patrols are a constant reminder of the unresolved dispute. But the story doesn't end there. China also claims parts of the territory, making Kashmir a rare and volatile intersection of three nuclear-armed powers, each with its own ambitions and anxieties. Soldiers from all sides stand watch, sometimes only hundreds of meters apart, their eyes trained on each other across forbidding terrain. The tension is palpable, and the risk of miscalculation is ever present. Tensions flare often, with border skirmishes and artillery exchanges making headlines. For those living here, the threat of conflict is never far away, casting a shadow over daily life. Kashmir's rivers are lifelines, irrigating the fertile plains below, while its towering heights offer strategic military advantage, resources and geography that add fuel to the dispute. For the people of Kashmir, life is marked by uncertainty and hardship. Families are separated by borders, communities live under constant military presence, and the hope for peace is often overshadowed by fear. Decades of violence have left deep scars, on the land, on families, and in the hearts of those who call Kashmir home. The international community repeatedly calls for dialogue and negotiation, but meaningful progress remains elusive, as mistrust and competing interests stall every attempt at resolution. Kashmir's complexity, woven from its ethnic diversity, religious traditions, and layered history, defies simple solutions. Every community here carries its own memories, grievances, and dreams for the future. As long as powerful neighbors' interests collide here, Kashmir will remain a land on the edge, a place of haunting beauty, enduring conflict, and uncertain destiny. Off China's southeastern coast lies Taiwan, a vibrant island whose unique position has made it a focal point of global attention for decades. Taiwan's modern history is deeply shaped by the unresolved legacy of civil war, colonial rule, and shifting international alliances. In 1949, after years of brutal conflict, the Chinese nationalist government retreated to Taiwan, fleeing the advance of communist forces on the mainland. This exodus brought millions to the island, forever altering its society and politics. Since then, Taiwan has developed into a vibrant, self-governing democracy, holding regular elections and building its own institutions. Yet, China continues to claim Taiwan as a breakaway province, insisting on eventual reunification. Most countries, wary of angering China, do not officially recognize Taiwan as a sovereign nation. Still, many maintain unofficial relations, supporting Taiwan with trade, cultural exchanges, and defensive weapons to help ensure its security. The Taiwan Strait has become one of the world's most sensitive flashpoints, where military exercises, naval patrols, and airspace incursions are now routine, raising fears of accidental conflict. For the people of Taiwan, the constant threat of conflict is never far from mind. It shapes daily life, influences political debates, and fuels a strong sense of identity and resilience. Despite these challenges, Taiwan thrives, its cities bustling, its democracy vibrant, and its economy strong. Yet the island's future remains uncertain, delicately balanced amid the shifting tides of international power and diplomacy. On the northern shores of the Black Sea lies Crimea, a region whose beauty and strategic location have made it a prize for empires throughout history. From the Greeks and Ottomans to the Russian and Soviet empires, Crimea has been at the crossroads of cultures, ambitions and conflicts for centuries. In 1954, in a move that seemed largely symbolic at the time, Crimea was transferred from Russia to Ukraine, both then republics within the Soviet Union. Few could have predicted how significant this decision would become decades later. Fast forward to 2014, Russian forces swiftly occupied Crimea. Following a controversial and internationally disputed referendum, Russia formally annexed the peninsula, a move condemned by Ukraine, the United States, the European Union, and most of the world community. In response, Western nations imposed sweeping sanctions on Russia. Meanwhile, conflict erupted in eastern Ukraine, plunging the region into years of violence and instability that continue to this day. For Russia, Crimea is far more than a territory. It is a vital naval stronghold, home to the Black Sea Fleet and a gateway to the Mediterranean, making it a linchpin in Moscow's military strategy. For Ukraine and its allies, Russia's annexation is a clear violation of international law and a direct challenge to the post-World War II order in Europe. Meanwhile, the people of Crimea find themselves caught between shifting borders, divided loyalties, and the uncertainty of life under new rule. Their daily lives are shaped by the politics of distant capitals. The ongoing dispute has hardened national identities, deepened mistrust, and fueled tensions not just in Crimea, but across the entire region. Today, Crimea remains firmly under Russian control, a powerful symbol of unresolved grievances, geopolitical rivalry, and the enduring struggle for influence in Eastern Europe. Where the desert meets the Atlantic lies Western Sahara, a vast, contested expanse. Once a Spanish colony, it became disputed when Spain withdrew in 1975 and Morocco asserted control. The Polisario Front declared Sahrawi independence and waged a guerrilla war. Today, a fortified sand berm divides Moroccan-held areas from Polisario-controlled territory. Tens of thousands of Sahrawi refugees wait in camps for a promised referendum on self-determination. The region's resources, phosphates, fisheries, and potential oil, add to the dispute. Western Sahara remains in limbo, its people caught between competing visions of the future. The Golan Heights, rising between Israel and Syria, command sweeping views and strategic significance. Captured by Israel in 1967, the plateau remains under Israeli control despite international calls for withdrawal. Its water resources are vital to Israel while Syria sees it as a symbol of national pride and loss. The UN considers the Golan occupied territory. Most countries do not recognize Israel's annexation. Sporadic clashes and peacekeepers underscore the fragile calm. The Golan Heights stands as a stark reminder of how geography shapes destiny. The Korean Peninsula is divided by one of the world's most fortified borders. After World War II, Korea split along the 38th parallel, north to Soviet influence, south to American. The Korean War devastated the land, and an armistice in 1953 ended fighting but not the conflict. North and South Korea face each other across the demilitarized zone, with nuclear weapons and military exercises keeping tensions high. For families separated by the border, reunification remains a distant dream. Until a true peace is forged, the peninsula remains a symbol of unfinished history. In the eastern Mediterranean, Cyprus is a mosaic of cultures, and a divided island since 1974. After a coup backed by Greece, Turkey intervened, occupying the northern third. A UN buffer zone, the Green Line, runs through the capital and countryside. The Republic of Cyprus controls the south. The Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus governs the north, recognized only by Turkey. Repeated reunification attempts have failed, and division shapes daily life. Cyprus remains a puzzle for diplomats, a symbol of both division and hope. Few places are as contested as the West Bank and East Jerusalem, at the heart of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In 1967, Israel captured these territories, moves not recognized by much of the world. Palestinians seek these lands for a future state, but settlements and barriers complicate hopes for peace. Jerusalem, sacred to three faiths, is a city of deep division. Negotiations and peace plans have yielded little progress. Violence erupts periodically. As long as core issues remain unresolved, these lands will symbolize both conflict and hope. In the East China Sea, the Senkaku, Japan or Diaoyu, China Islands are a focal point of regional rivalry. Claimed by Japan, China and Taiwan, these tiny outcrops hold strategic and historic value. Control means fishing rights, energy reserves, and influence over shipping lanes. Tensions rise with every incursion. Military aircraft and Coast Guard vessels shadow each other. Even the smallest islands can become the stage for great power competition. Scattered across the South China Sea, the Spratly Islands are among the world's most hotly contested places. China, Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan all claim parts of the archipelago. China has built artificial islands with airstrips and military outposts. Others have fortified their own positions. The South China Sea is a vital artery of global trade and may hold significant oil and gas reserves. International courts have ruled against some claims, but enforcement is elusive. For local fishermen and sailors, the dispute is a daily reality. The Spratlys show how far nations will go to defend what they see as their own. Borders have shaped the destinies of nations and peoples, but peace is often fragile. The world's most disputed territories remind us that lines on a map can have consequences lasting generations. Which disputed territory do you think is the most dangerous? Share your thoughts in the comments. Perhaps with understanding and dialogue, some of these disputes may yet find peaceful resolution. Thank you for watching FactVerse. Subscribe for more on geopolitics, history, and international affairs.